Once upon a time in the bustling city of Lagos, two brothers, David and Michael Thompson, inherited their late parents' real estate and transport business. Bound by blood and legacy, they worked side by side. Business boomed, customers loved them, staff respected them, investors trusted them. The Thompson brothers were admired for their unity, and people often said, "These two, you can't divide them with a sword. Blood and business run deep." But that was before marriage changed everything. When David the elder got married to Clarissa, a beautiful but cunning woman, the harmony began to fade. Clarissa was controlling, always whispering poisonous words into David's ears. "Why should your brother Michael own the same shares as you? You're the firstborn, David. Michael's always too confident. Are you sure he's not planning to outshine you?" David's heart began to darken with suspicion. Slowly, envy crept in like a thief. Michael, unaware of the storm brewing, kept working faithfully until one day David said coldly, "You're taking too many decisions lately. Maybe it's time we restructure the business." Michael was shocked. But that was just the beginning. One late night, David visited a notorious native doctor in a remote town. "I want my brother gone and out of my way," David said quietly. "But it must look natural, like a disaster. I don't want fingers pointing to me." The native doctor, an old man with chalked eyes and slow movements, nodded. "It is possible," he said, "but if I may ask, what has he done to you?" The native doctor asked. "He has been chewing more than he can bite, also trying to put smart meter forgetting am the eldest," David replied. "But your brother has a strong spirit. If sin does not die, it must pass through fire." David hesitated. "Then, don't kill him. Make him mad. Let something happen that will trigger the madness so no one suspects anything." The old man squinted. "It can be done, but there is a price." "What price?" David asked. "Whenever you come in contact with him in the future, if he's still alive and mad, the spirit will return to you. Madness doesn't die, it transfers." David laughed coldly. "That day will never come. Just do it." And the native doctor asked him to pick a kola nut from the shrine and mention his name 7 times and drop it before the shrine. David did as the native doctor instructed him, and the native doctor assured him that it's done and settled, then still reminded him, saying, "If you ever cross path with him, the madness will transfer back to you." David replied, "Baba, that will never happen. Trust me, everything will be taken care of." A few weeks later, Michael went on a business trip to Onitsha. On the way, the vehicle lost control and plunged into a river near a crumbling bridge. Several passengers died. Michael's body was swept away by the current, but fate had other plans. Far away in Bielsa State, a humble fisherman named Abimo found Michael unconscious, washed up on the shore. "He's still breathing," Abimo shouted to his wife. "Quick, bring warm cloth." Michael survived, but something was broken. His memory was gone. His speech was strange. He stared into the distance and talked to himself. He had gone mad. Abimo and his wife Priya took him in, called him John, and tried everything to restore him: herbs, prayers, fasting. Nothing worked. Yet, over the years, Michael, now John, adapted to the simple river life. He helped Abimo fish, told odd stories by the fire, and sang to the children. He became family. Meanwhile, in Lagos, David acquired all of Michael's shares through court order, declaring him missing and presumed dead. The business expanded. He became wealthy and powerful. But envy attracts envy. David started stepping on toes of many rival business partners, telling them their wealth is a token change to his own wealth. One day, he was kidnapped by one of rival business partners who were jealous of his success. They demanded a ransom. His wife, Clarissa, was contacted by the kidnappers and was given location to pay the ransom in cash before her husband will be released. Clarissa paid it, but something changed in her eyes that day. She was directed to a remote community Delta state. She was wondering how possible, all the way from Lagos, kidnapping her husband to another state successfully without being caught. When they released David in a poor, swampy suburb, a hoda outside Port Harcourt, he was bruised, alone, and lost. Hungry and stranded, he approached a woman selling smoked fish at Mbiama. Please, any help, I'll repay you, he begged. The woman called over her husband Ebimo, the fisherman. Ebimo looked at David, his spirit stirred. Something felt familiar with his look. He gave him money and food. Here, God bless you, Ebimo said. David, shaken, said, let me repay you. Please, give me your contact. Ebimo refused, but said, I didn't help you to pay me back, but rather let's give God thanks for providing it. David still insisted on getting Ebimo's contact number and said, I'll invite you properly for my Thanksgiving celebration. Ebimo agreed, gave him a scribbled number, and returned home. 2 weeks later, Ebimo received a call from David. You and your family must come to Lagos for my Thanksgiving. It's time I honored the hands that fed me. David provided mobility for Ebimo and his family to travel down to Lagos. Excited, Ebimo traveled with Priya and John, Michael. David's mansion was filled with guests, lights, and cameras. But the moment David saw Ebimo, he rushed down to welcome him and his family. He saw a familiar face, John. His eyes widened in fear, and then he began laughing, hysterically. He's here. He came. I told you he wouldn't return. He tore his clothes, ran through the crowd, and screamed at invisible shadows. The guests froze. Ebimo stood still. Suddenly, Michael blinked rapidly. His eyes cleared. Where am I? Ebima, what is going on? Silence fell. Clarissa fell on her knees, sobbing. We did this. We made him mad. We wanted him gone. Please forgive us. David collapsed, weeping and laughing. The madness had transferred back to him, just as the native doctor warned. The truth spread like wildfire. Neighbors wailed. Friends wept. What once was hidden had come to light. His rival business partners were happy, and they knew something was wrong about Michael missing. Michael, now sane again, quietly took David's hand and whispered, Blood is blood. I will not repay evil with evil. He arranged for David's treatment at a top psychiatric hospital. As for Clarissa, she was given a painful choice: remain and take care of her now mad husband, or leave and be forgotten. She chose to stay. Michael resumed the business with fresh insight. He brought Ebimo and Priya to Lagos permanently and gave their children scholarships. He established a foundation and named it Life and Shelter Foundation. When asked why he didn't take revenge, Michael always smiled and said, a leaf that shelters you from the sun is dear. Even if the branch betrays you, never curse the tree. Please subscribe, comment your interest for the next part, like, share, and tap the notification button to get notified for more. Thanks for watching.